Hey everybody, welcome to another Money Reviews. Today we're checking out a gun belt from AWS Tactical. This is the Light Assault Belt System, the LAB belt. And man, is this a cool belt. So we're going to talk about the outer belt, which is right here, the inner belt, and then the MOLLE panels. So first off, the outer belt. The outer belt is tack weave nylon webbing. It's in Multicam. Very, very nice belt. Very rigid. This thing was obviously designed to hang stuff off of, guns and duty gear. Really, really nice. Inner belt is also extremely rigid. You could probably hang duty gear off this thing if you really wanted to. It kind of blows my mind how rigid it is, and it's very nicely made. And then the MOLLE panels are also fairly rigid. Definitely nice pieces, and we'll get more in depth on those in a moment. So, the LAB belt. The LAB belt is a system. It is meant to be a hybrid between a standard slick gun belt and a MOLLE belt. AWS definitely brought a really interesting product to the market, and I'm really kind of excited about this thing. And I can't wait to put it all together and use it. So when you get this guy, when you set it up and you go to the website, they're going to ask you, okay, you got your outer belt, you got your standard belt, $64.25. That's how much this belt costs. If that's all you need and all you want, boom, buy it out the door. But they want this to be a whole system for you. So the first thing they're going to ask you, what buckle do you want? So I am leaving the service. I'm not going to be doing anything remotely interesting or fun anymore. I'm just going to be a regular ass nasty civvy. So I just said, regular Cobra Buckle, please. I don't need a D-ring. I don't need a D-ring with a pull. I'm not hooking into boats. I'm not hooking into helos. And I'm probably not going to be paying the extra money at a MILSIM event or any sort of game to fly in a helicopter for about 10 minutes. Because I've flown in plenty of helos. It's cool, but it's not that cool. So I went with the regular Austria Alpine Cobra. Nice buckle, high quality buckles. They function. They clip. Boom. Really nice. Next thing they're going to ask you, inner belt. What inner belt do you want? A 1.5 inch was which I went with. Coyote Brown or Black. I went with Coyote Brown, obviously. Or a 2 inch. A reason I went with a 1.5, I'm going to be using this system with jeans or BDUs and stuff like that. So I figured I'm probably going to wear this in BB wars with jeans, but I might also wear this for, I don't know, like a shooting class with jeans on or something like that. For my 3-gun competition, guys, this would be a pretty cool little setup, in all honesty. For duty guys, duty use, oh yeah, you better believe this is cool. If you could get away with it, I would definitely say go for it. But I went 1.5 for that reason. I wanted the flexibility of wearing this with regular belt loops or tactical pants. The actual belt itself is extremely rigid. It's got this black webbing on the inside, almost kind of like a scuba webbing. Really rigid, really nice. They went with this gross grain here, so it makes it easy to grab and pull it open. So instead of fishing, once it's all married down here, you're not fishing around trying to get the shit off. I like that. This head here, it's cut. As you can see, it's like a 45 cut. And that makes it easier to kind of feed in through your loops. And I think that's pretty cool too. So I definitely think that was a well thought out, nicely designed inner belt. This is the extra large. It's kind of big. I felt like the large would be too small. The XL is a little too big. I'm also a chunky boy, battle cattle, but I'm a little in between sizes. It is what it is. I'll make it work. Definitely a nice inner belt though. I like it. The inner belt from TYR is also pretty rigid. I feel like this is a little more rigid and in a positive way. So take that for what it is. So the big difference between this and another type of MOLLE belt, so this is a TYR Gunfighter, one of my favorite belts. I absolutely love these things. But these are MOLLE all the time, which is cool and all, but sometimes you don't want all that. So this gives you the ability to not be MOLLE all the time, which I think is kind of neat. And I know some of you are probably like, Muddy, there's already belts like that. You're right. There's First Spear belt. I used to have one before I started the channel. I got rid of it. I kind of wish I had still had it, could have reviewed it. It is very similar to this. It's called like the, oh man, what's it called? It's like the gunfighter belt or some shit, or like just gun belt. But it's they come in multiple colors. Multicam's one of them. I had a Multicam one. I got it in Japan back in the day. It was a nice belt. I really liked it, but it was slick. You didn't have any MOLLE. You couldn't hang shit off of it easily. And it was kind of a pain in the balls. So I ended up just kind of getting rid of it because I didn't use it for anything. Kind of regretted it recently because there's a belt project I'm working with where this might show its face again in another video before I'm MOLLEing it up. But there is belts like this, but where this comes into play and really shines is here with these panels right here. So these are the MOLLE panels. When you order this, it's the next thing they ask you, do you want MOLLE panels for it? Well, yeah, I did. So I went with 5. The reason I went with 5, I figured that'd be a good starting point. And if I needed more, I can always order more. The MOLLE panels are really cool because what they allow you to do is you take your panel. So these are pretty rigid, about 2 by 2. They got like what feels like a Kydex insert split, so it's not a big square, so it's flexible. Cordura, you got your nice Multicam solution dyed webbing. Pals right here. It is real Multicam, which I expect nothing less from AWS, being a actual company that has plenty of government contracts. Been out in Bragg area forever, making gear for SMUs and regular ass infantry units. Great company. Anyway, hook back here, loop right here on the inside. Kind of hard to see. Goes on the belt, marries up. I'll show you how to do that in a second. But the whole idea is you MOLLE something on here like this frag pouch, and now I can put this frag pouch anywhere I want on the belt, and I'm good to go. But if I don't need this anymore, like the local field I have here, I can use EG67 grenades. So I can take these guys here, and I can use them here all day, every day at the walk-on field. Well, the field I'm playing at the most when I leave here, this area, and I move up north, doesn't allow them. Only at special events or MILSIM events. It's a legality issue. So I'm not going to need a frag pouch on my belt. Instead of having to MOLLE the damn thing off, which this was a pain in the balls to get off my TYR. I fucking hated it. I hate MOLLEing shit on. I had multiple hand surgeries. Man, I don't have the dexterity to do that all the time. Once I get it on here, though, I can just pull the panel off, leave it MOLLEd on, throw it in a bin. When I do need it, when I'm going to go to an event where they allow pyro again, and I can use frags, I can put it back on my belt, and I'm good to go. That is fucking genius. And I think that's where this belt really kind of comes into its own. Panels. Panels. So let's talk about the panels. Like I said, I went with 5. I think they're really well constructed, and they're nice. So they're going to ask you that in the drop down. You pick your panels and you go. So putting the panels on the belt. The panels, you have this little Kydex piece comes inside one of the panels when you get it. When I first got it, I was like, what the fuck's that for? And I went to go put a panel on, and it was like, I was like, and it would not go any further past right there. And I was like, what the fuck? And I realized, oh, it's because there's loop in there, you moron, and it's catching on all this hook. You would not be able to get that past all this hook. There'd be no way. So you have this Kydex, you run that back there, and all day long, you can just slide this wherever you want. And once you get it set, pull that out, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Press it, set it, and forget it, and you're good to go. That is pretty awesome. Really, really well thought out. Again, AWS thought of everything. As far as adjusting the belt, easy to do, just like any other belt of this nature. You kind of pull your bitter end of the webbing, pull it up and out or whatever, tighten it down, cinch it up, and you're good to go. What AWS did add, though, was this really heavy-duty elastic band right here. It's really nice. And that polices up your loose webbing. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm a fan of elastic webbing keepers. I think they're really useful. Sometimes they can be a pain in the ass, but in this case, I think it's pretty good. And it's really, really heavy duty. It's heavy duty enough to police up multiple folds of this tack weave. So that is pretty good. And if this band looks kind of familiar to you, it's because you might have seen something like, I don't know, a Ronin Cinchi belt. Because AWS, if I remember correctly, was the original OEM for Ronin's products before the new times, back in the old times. I'll double check it. If I'm right or wrong, I'll put it in the description below. Overall, very satisfied with this belt. I think it's really cool. Like I've said already, I'm going to repeat myself a little bit. It's very rigid. I think it would be fantastic for duty use, 110%, for all my duty guys. Anybody who watches my channel that is military, infantry, police, whatever. This is really good. I think you're going to like this. I think it'll be really useful for you. My just straight airsoft guys that do nothing but airsoft, also really good product. Not terribly expensive, and it's really cool. Guys who like to do just shooting, or just like shooters, maybe 3-gun guys, I think this would be really cool too. Just my tactical people just like guns that will watch this channel, that also, maybe nothing like airsoft, but just like gear and guns, still great product. This is one of those things that I think is going to be kind of a great crossover against all the worlds. Military, airsofters, 3-gun people, just gear nerds, the whole 9 yards. This is one of those products that really just kind of hits all the wickets. It's really interesting. It's really unique. A buddy of mine who is a former MOLLE, got some time in the sandbox, done some neat stuff. He has one of these belts too, and he raves about it. So I kind of got it because I knew I needed another belt for something I'm building. Again, like I said, total nerd shit, BB Wars. I wanted to build it up for that. But I would easily, if I was going to go to another, like a pistol or carbine course, and I was going to be using a belt, I would take this probably over my TYR at this point. And I like my TYR a lot. That is my favorite belt. But this guy is growing on me heavily, and I've only had this for a couple days, and I think this thing is fantastic. I can't wait to use it more and really get some reps in on it. So stand by for more follow-on information as time goes on. Probably not going to get a ton of stuff and content on it until the summer, but expect more. I just can't sing the praises enough of this thing. It is really fantastic belt. So that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you are one of my subs, you are awesome and a great person, and I love you. If you are not one of my subs, I still love you. Maybe consider being a sub, because if you like this content, this is what all my shit's like, and I think you'll love all my other stuff. Top left corner, YouTube's going to put a little button up there. It's going to tell you that's the most recent video. Top right corner is going to be a video I think you're going to like because it's in the same vein as this guy. And the bottom right corner is going to be a helmet. Punch that dude in the head if you haven't already. That's the subscribe button. Definitely hang out with me. I'd love to hang out with you and enjoy all this time talking about nerdy shit like Kit. Until next time, guys, get out there, LARP hard, play some airsoft, shoot some guns, and just enjoy this tactical life that we all seem to love to do. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.